Welcome to the Education Corner, a podcast by Education Choices magazine.
Education Corner podcast would like to welcome Mrs. Suzie Longstaff, Principal from Easter 2023 at London Park School Clapham, and the newly appointed head, Mr. Paul Vanni. London Park School Clapham will run through to GCSEs currently and is based in 2 buildings overlooking Clapham Common, with all the benefits and outdoor space this brings. They will also be absorbing Northwood Senior School and are going to open a 6th form partner school, London Park Sixth Form in Belgravia, in September 2024. This will also be overseen by Mrs. Suzie Longstaff. Firstly, you both have had very exciting and dynamic careers to date and have worked at some of London's leading schools. Would you both like to tell us about some of the work you have done before joining London Park School and how you think this will benefit the school and children going forwards? Perhaps if we begin with Suzie Longstaff, who is currently the long-standing headmistress at Putney High School, part of the GDST group.
Hello, Chloe. Thank you so much for inviting me along. I'm very much looking forward to joining London Park Schools and Dukes at Easter. The last 14 years, I've worked at Putney High School and have been headmistress for 8 of those very happy years. I've had quite a long time in education, working in all boys, boarding, co-ed and single-sex girls education. So I'm really looking forward to moving to different schools in London. I know the London market really well, and I've lived in London for many, many years. And as you probably know, before I worked in education, I also had a very happy career in sport, in rowing. So my career has followed the river. Not quite sure how we're going to get rowing into London Park Schools yet, but there's always a way.
And Paul.
Hi, Chloe. Great to be here. Thanks very much. I'm already up and running with London Park Schools. It's such an exciting project. It's my first time with Dukes, but I'm steeped, a little bit like Susie, steeped in London schools. I was for 13 years a linguist at St Paul's Boys. I was latterly head of modern languages there. And then for 7 years, I was the senior deputy at St Paul's Girls. So very academic schools, very large, well-known schools. But then also I spent a few happy years as the founding head at Kensington Park School. Nothing to do with London Park School, just that similarity in name is purely coincidental. But that gave me that small school, central London startup experience as well. And so I've got a broad range of experience there, and I'm really excited about bringing all of that to the table here with this project. Resilience and good humour, those are things that I think I've learnt from my career to date, and certainly looking forward to applying those at LPS Clapham.
On the London Park School website, it states, London Park School Clapham offers the best of both worlds. The nurturing feel of a small school with the opportunities, experiences and expertise of a larger one. Would you like to expand on this statement?
We're a new school, we're a small school, but essentially within the context of the London Park Schools group, I don't know whether this is quite the right term, but I see us as almost a family of little kind of a federal group of schools, a family of schools. We're the founding cornerstone of that, but there's more out there. So within the context of our Clapham school, when we're full, we will have a maximum of 260 students. Everyone will know one another, and we will very much have that local family, that genuine community feel to us. And we'll be able to provide a level of support that is entirely commensurate with that. But as part of this larger group of schools, we're able to leverage some of the benefits of numbers, of scale. And I think that's particularly relevant when it comes to some of the co-curricular experiences that we'll be able to offer our students. So, for example, yes, London Park School Clapham, we will have our own choir, we will have our own concerts, we will be putting on our own plays and have our own sports fixtures. But there'll be opportunities and moments where we lean into the group and we do things in partnership with other schools within the group to be able to offer something that's on another scale, a little bit more ambitious and unique and special, perhaps. So yes, as I said, we might have our own carol service, for example, but aspirationally further down the line, if we wanted to do something much bigger and book out the Wigmore Hall, then that's the point when we do that in partnership with other schools within the group. And the same goes for drama and trips as well.
And the maximum capacity will be 260.
That's right. 2 form entry into year 7, 20 in a form, and an additional form intake into year 9 as well. When you do the maths, you get to 260.
There are currently assessments and admissions taking place, and I know some parents have been looking at these, and you're preparing to begin the first academic intake in September. Can you tell us a little bit about the sort of qualities that you're looking for in children that would be joining London Park School, perhaps Susie?
Paul can talk more about the admissions process, but I just wanted to say this is such an exciting opportunity in London, I feel, for London to have a group of local London small schools for children, the type of children that would be really happy in London Park School. There is no typical student. We were looking for students who are inquisitive, who want to embrace education, all that school has to offer, and which we can offer them loads, because the one thing I'm passionate about is the opportunity that they have, not only opportunity through the curriculum, of which it'll be significant, but through the co-curricular. Plus as well, you know that we have our links with the tall ship and ski chalets to learn about the environment, which we can talk a little bit more about shortly. But the admissions process, we're just trying to find out a little bit more about the students who'd like to come to London Park Schools. But I'm going to hand over to Paul to talk about that in more detail.
Yeah, thank you. So just actually, if I can kind of flip the question, just very briefly touch on the process. I think once I've kind of explained the process, you get a sense of the kind of student that we're looking for here. So as well as asking for conventional reference from current head, etc., when we invite students in, rather than getting them to sit down to undertake a swathe of papers in maths, chemistry, non-verbal reasoning, etc., we've got a really exciting group of tasks that the students work through in small groups. A couple of them are maths-based, a couple of them are English comprehension-based, and a couple of them involve the students actually undertaking science practicals to come to conclusions about a scenario that's been set for them. At the end of sort of an hour and a half of undertaking these tasks, which they do collaboratively, which they do together, they sit down and they hypothesize about who has committed a crime. So there's a scenario here. A crime's been committed. There are a series of possible suspects, and we know various things about these suspects. So it's a whodunit. A student recently described it as the Cluedo morning, which I thought was quite sweet in a funny kind of way. But what this means is that we are looking for students who have a can-do approach to problem solving, who can demonstrate a degree of mental agility, and who can work together as a team. So for us, it's not so much about whether they've got the right answer or not, it's about how they've got to that answer. And those students who are going to thrive in a small school environment where there's a strong sense of community and who are going to be able to work as a team and really apply those problem-solving skills, those are the kind of students that we're looking for.
That sounds wonderful. I think I want to come and do a Cluedo day. We understand that London Park School Clapham is merging with the Northwood Senior School. How will this be facilitated? And will you also be merging with the Broomwood group as a whole?
Strictly speaking, it's not a merger. A merger implies two or more entities coming together to form something new that's composed of those entities. We are London Park School Clapham, London Park School. We're a new entity. What's happening is Northwood Senior is, in a sense, folding into London Park School Clapham. And the staff are coming over from Northwood Senior, the students are coming over from Northwood Senior. And so the staff and students form, if you like, the kernel of our founding cohort for this coming September. But we are a new school that's going to build on the DNA of Northwood Senior. There'll be additionality coming in there as well, but we're building on Northwood Senior. The Broomwood group as a whole, that's separate to us. That goes off in its own direction with the constituent parts that remain from the Northwood Schools group, but Broomwood is distinct from us. We are our own separate entity, and Susie leading us up and leading the charge.
And will you have a school motto, or have you decided on your school motto? Because I imagine you will have one.
We don't have a motto as such at the moment, although the strapline Base Camp for Inquisitive Minds seems to be gaining currency. And I must admit, I do quite like that. I wish I'd come up with it myself. I think it points to a sense of adventure, curiosity. It speaks to the difficulties and challenges we face in the world. And I think it gives a sense of what we want to do. In other words, we're preparing our students to surmount those challenges. We're giving them the tools they need for the 21st century. We are at the start of their life journey, in a sense, hence the Base Camp for Inquisitive Minds.
Very good. We understand that London Park School Clapham will be co-curricular and that you will have key areas of focus such as sustainability and entrepreneurship. And the website states that sustainability will be at the centre of school life, teaching sustainability in and out of the classroom. Can you tell us a little bit more about how this is going to work?
Yes, we know the world's changing, and it's really important to families in London and the wider world, and to us as well, that we're educating students for the future. So it's really important that our students will be growing up to exist in this changing world and to play their part in it. So therefore, sustainability and the environment have to play a key part in the education we offer. But we're going to do that in ways that are fun and innovative. And yes, it's going to be embedded throughout the curriculum, but also we're going to send our students on a tour ship in Spain where they will learn about marine conservation. They will understand about the environment up mountains in the UK and wider abroad. They will embrace urban farms. We always thought about getting an urban farm, but maybe that's a little bit in the future. Paul is going to be developing a social entrepreneurship programme at the school where our students will play their part in the local community. And that's really, really important to us all today, to be inclusive, to understand the community we live in and to play our part in it. So it's going to have a huge part in that. And that's also where entrepreneurship comes in, because we want our students to be change makers of the future. We need to equip them with the skills to do that. And that will be embedded throughout the curriculum.
And I actually interviewed Jules Hall yesterday talking about entrepreneurship in education. He was also talking about financial literacy and the importance of teaching entrepreneurship in schools. I mean, will you perhaps involve him in some way, or will there be opportunities for the children to set up business models?
I know him well. He runs the Ultra organisation and educates students in entrepreneurship. He was actually at Putney High School, was our entrepreneur in residence for a number of years and ran some entrepreneurial programmes and really instigated the vibe at Putney through all the hundreds of entrepreneurship programmes we run. It'll have very much the same ethos in London Park Schools Clapham. You know, we want our girls and boys to be digital natives. They've got to be able to run the tech. They've got to be able to set up businesses. They've got to understand how they do that, how they connect with people. And so, absolutely, I haven't spoken to Julian about London Park School Clapham, but obviously there's a connection to pursue in a true entrepreneurial spirit, which he is an advocate of and an outstanding role model. So, Chloe, if you connect us, I wonder if we get a contribution as well.
We have been invited, both of us, several times now to the House of Lords, and it's now quite funny that we see each other there.
Your magazine is a great example of entrepreneurship. So, yes, we'll be inviting you into London Park Schools Clapham as well to help us with our programmes.
He and I discussed it yesterday, and we're also going to include photos of him taken by an 11-year-old boy within the magazine who set up his own photography business. So, yeah, they can start at any age. So I'm imagining with this focus on sustainability and entrepreneurship that to some level there is also going to be a focus on not just the academics and academic success, which is obviously key and paramount, but also to some extent preparation and life skills as a whole. So kind of a whole child approach, looking towards the future through these different focuses.
I mean, that is absolutely fundamental to everything we do. That's the purpose of education. That is the stage one, the most important thing. But Paul will be able to explain that a little bit more about the context of Clapham.
You've hit the nail on the head, really. You know, academic success is important and results are important, but they just open doorways. They signal, if you like, pathways. Actually, what we now need to be doing is providing our young learners of today skills they need to walk through those doorways and traverse those pathways. And the world around us is changing at such an unbelievably fast rate that what we really need to be doing is equipping them with skills to enable them to be agile thinkers, to be able to respond quickly to scenarios, to equip them with the resilience that they need. And yeah, to give them the opportunities that we've been talking about here in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of understanding the world and issues around sustainability. We want our students to be, powerful agents of change. Change makers is a word that we use. So that is about soft skills, but it's also about real world knowledge and understanding. A lot of the skills they will get from their taught curriculum. Financial literacy will come through life skills in the curriculum. It will come through PSHE. public speaking will come through, elements of the co-curriculum provision. Debating, for example, problem solving comes in a myriad of different subject areas. But actually, what we're looking to do is to draw those different strands together and to enable students to understand that subjects, different disciplines within schools, they're not just taught in silos. Those silos are linked, so that connectivity, which for them, I think, if we get it right, it should open their minds and really enable them to see their potential to make changes. We've got, alongside, if you like, the academic curriculum, the academic taught curriculum, got the Duke's Young Leadership Programme. It's a Duke's thing that's going to be introduced in 2023. It really talking about a programme which looks to instill dispositions, humility, honour, courage, compassion in our young learners. So learning leadership through service, entrepreneurship and adventure. That's, I think, really what we're about here.
That was a question that I was going to ask the Young Leadership Programme. Is this something that they undertake throughout the school, or is it something that goes on the older they get? Is it kind of your version of like a Duke of Edinburgh?
So DofE is part and parcel of it, whereas DofE in most schools is optional and it runs for a period of time. My own children have just done it. Our leadership programme will be embedded in the school, in the curriculum, and run through the 5 years of London Park School Clapham. So it's a genuinely meaningful experience which progressively builds on the basis of prior learnt experiences and moments to ensure that at the end of that journey, we've got students who really feel that they have experienced something worthwhile and that they are able to be those change makers that I spoke about a moment ago.
And through it being associated with the bigger Duke Schools group, obviously it's a very exciting adventure. You are your own entity, your own school, but there are other schools within the group. How do you feel that that's going to help, certainly in these early stages of setting up the school? Are you getting a lot of support from partner schools in the process?
Partner schools, but I would say particularly in terms of back office. I mean, Duke's is such now a well-established and professional team with some incredibly high-profile people, such as Susie, working for it. For the likes of me, head of an exciting new but still, very young, very small school, to be able to lean on the support and experience of people within the group is a great privilege and a great opportunity.
Very exciting. Susie, just one last question, probably slightly more directed at you, because from my understanding, before you became head, you were very involved with the sixth form at Putney High and remain so to this day. But there is going to be a partner school, London Park sixth form in Belgravia, that opens in September 2024. Just for those with older children, is the London Park Clapham going to feed through to this second part so that there is a sixth form for the parents with children thinking about going on to do A-levels?
Yes. Chloe, you know me so well. You know where my heart is as well, in the sixth form parts of school. I love the sixth form area. This is when we are helping students choose the next stage of their lives. And it's absolute privilege and delight to be able to do that, and so much fun. We would all like to live our lives again through the destinations where students are going to. So yes, there's going to be a sixth form which will feed through the Clapham students. And as you know me, this sixth form will be a huge focus because we want it to be vibrant, spirited, breadth of subjects, wonderful opportunity, outstanding teaching and learning, and also huge support for the next stage, whatever that is these days, because who knows whether it is higher education, going abroad to the US, going to art college, for example, or apprenticeships. The world is changing and we are going to be there to support the students on their journey. So yes, watch this space. It'll be amazing.
I could be there with a kind of cloak on, hoping to join in. Just a final question. With the current political and social debates surrounding validity of independent schools, social mobility in the UK, and many other issues that those encompass, what do you feel will be the challenges for independent schools in 2023, 2024?
That's a really interesting question. And when I joined Duke's after Easter, that's something that we'll all be working on. And that is what I actually really like about Duke's, that they really do have a heart and they really do take their role in society quite seriously. They will be establishing a foundation as well to support students who may not be able to afford an independent education. I think that's in the very early days of discussion, but that'd be something for the future. So the challenges for society as a whole and independent schools, who knows? We all have got various ideas on a radar of the risks going on. But luckily in London, there are some outstanding schools. You know, parents in London are so lucky. There is such a choice of amazing schools who are all doing their best to weather the challenges that come their way. So I think the future is very bright for independent education. Everyone has to tighten their belt. Everyone is, and families are as well. And schools also have to make sure that they're offering value for money. And I think that is a challenge of the future.
Thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing more and seeing London Park Clapham and sixth form grow into its own identity. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe.